All right, hello again, everybody. Mr. Van Epperen back here again. And today we're going to be talking about lobbying and interest groups. Now, those two terms might not mean anything to you right now, um, but they have become one of the most important, or two of the most important terms in American society in the 21st century. So it's important that you guys get some kind of base understanding of what these terms mean. I'm going to start out with a question. And that's how can we impact representatives in Congress? Now, what we live in is called a democratic republic or a democracy. And how that works is you select people or you vote people into office that will represent you. However, it is encouraged by the Constitution that you also let these people know after you vote them in to represent you uh, just what you want and what you believe on certain issues. And so it's important to understand how you can impact your members of Congress. One way is by writing them a letter. You could write your congressman or woman a letter and explain to them why you believe they should support or not support given legislation. You could sign or start a petition, okay, where somebody will come around and say, we're trying to collect signatures of people who don't believe in this or believe in this, and then they will bring it to the representative, and they will see how many people do or do not want a certain piece of legislation. Every congressman and woman has office hours where you can call them on the phone. You can also email them. I've found in the growing age of social networking, email or Twitter, those are both really good ways to contact your congressman or woman, and oftentimes you think they won't respond, but they actually do respond, so that's good. However, at the end of the day, outside of the petition, you are still just one person. Okay, and let's say you care less about a wide variety of issues, but you have one specific issue that you are passionate about. You can call your representative all the time, but you might not get their attention unless you have more people on your side. Okay, and if you get more people on your side, if you get a couple hundred people and you're always talking to this person saying, we want you to do X, then they might listen because there is strength in numbers. And this exact thing is supported in the Constitution. It's the First Amendment of the United States Constitution, and it reads as follows. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. This last part is the important part. The government cannot obstruct the right of people to peaceably assemble, to gather together, and to petition the government for a redress of grievances, and to ask the government to handle certain issues they have. Now, the term we use for that contact of grievances or that asking of a representative to defeat or pass legislation is lobbying. So I've defined it as the action that seeks to influence the defeat or passes of legislation. And lobbying is the act, mainly in our given situation, of interest groups. Interest groups are those groups of people that have joined together and have said, we care about one issue, and we're going to form a group to fight for that issue. Now, you probably have heard of several of the interest groups in the United States. Okay? There's the ACLU, the National Wildlife Federation, the NRA, Greenpeace, AARP, the National Education Association, and all these things have different causes that they promote. The ACLU promotes the rights of workers. National Wildlife Federation promotes the conservation of wildlife. The National Rifle Association promotes the rights of gun owners. The AARP, the rights of old folks and retired folks. The NAACP, any minority groups, mainly African Americans. The NEA, Teachers and Education. Greenpeace is exactly what it sounds like. Green energies, environmental causes. Now, on the surface, this seems like a really good idea. Okay, you have a lot of people that are getting together to influence government. So, however, as with most things nowadays, there are pros and cons to every system. So you have the pros of this system, and as I just mentioned, one of the big pros is that you have citizens who are active in government. And that is the biggest pro, is that people don't feel that they are going to just sit on the sidelines. They feel through their participation in interest groups that they can actually have a say in government. However, the big con in this system is that it has led to corruption. It has led to corruption because interest groups, through lobbyists, um, so interest group through lobbyists have bribed members of Congress with money. So everything comes back to money. So what interest groups have done is they will hire a couple people that will work for them to talk to the congressmen and women. So now they aren't even the ones talking directly to the congressmen and women. They hire people, lobbyists, to do that. And what these lobbyists will do is they will get money from the interest group and they will go out and they will essentially try to buy votes from congressmen and women. That obviously is a con. Now, it has gotten so big, this act of lobbying and paying for not just corruption, but just paying for advertising and paying for signs and paying for letters and paying for this act of lobbying, that the number you see in front of you, 28,460,000, is the amount of money that interest groups have spent on lobbying in the past 10 years. Now, if we open that up to one of our resources, we can take a look at how this money is divvied up. So this is just in 2011. So last year, in lobbying costs alone, the pharmaceutical and health products industry, so the health industry, uh, paid just about $241 million in lobbying. Insurance companies spent $160,000 in lobbying. The oil industry and gas industry spent $150,000. Electric utilities, $145,000. You see education down here, $107,000. And you would be asking yourself, what on earth are they doing with all that money? Well, what they are doing is whatever it takes to get congressmen and women, both at the state level and the federal level, to help them out, to vote for things that will benefit them. So whether that be the allowance of a certain chemical in certain drugs that health companies or medication companies might benefit from, or the oil industries, the allowance of certain types of oil transportation to be allowed into the United States. There's a variety of things that will benefit these industries, and these interest groups have been paying big money, $28.4 billion to make sure that the congressmen and women will not vote against them. Now, as you might suspect, that's a big problem, and many people have identified it as a big problem. And so one of the solutions is there was a federal ethics board that was created to try and put some rules in place to stop illegal corruption going on in the process of lobbying and interest groups. So these are some of the acts or some of the actions that have been prohibited. A lobbyist paid travel is forbidden. So if you are a congressman or woman, you cannot travel anywhere and have a lobbyist pay for you. Any sponsored trip must be connected to your official duties. So if you go to another country, or any trip as it were, um, it must that trip must be to carry out official duties of your job as a congressman or woman. Not only does the congressman or woman have stipulations put on them, the people that work for them do as well, because oftentimes uh, the lobbyists will try to corrupt the staffers, the people that work for the congressman or woman, and then they in turn will persuade the congressman or woman. So all staffer trips must be cleared in advance, and no gifts of $50 or more can be accepted. All right, that is where I'm going to end the video. What I want you to do now is I've attached another video. It's a 60-minute interview. It's about 15 minutes. It's a video interviewing Jack Abramoff, who is one of the most notorious lobbyists ever to work on what they call K Street, where all the lobbyists work. And it's a very insightful video to hear him talk about how he did what he did to convince congressmen and women to vote for the people he worked for. So after you do that, um, you are going to get together and you're going to start forming your own interest groups, and you're going to do some writing, and you're going to write policy statements. Okay? If you want to come back to the video later, I have a slide on the policy statements here. Some of this information is also on the website. But other than that, I look forward to seeing the creativity you and your partners come up with in putting together your interest groups. And as always, if you have any questions, I'm here to help you. Just let me know. Have a good day.